Is Idaho Falls a good place to live? This city has a lot of charm, and if you can handle some of its cons, though they could be pros to you, this could be the perfect place for you. Hey friends, welcome back to this channel. My name is Craig Flood, and I am a real estate agent here in Idaho. I create content and highlight all the major cities around Idaho and deep dive into them to help you decide which one's going to be the best fit. If that's something you're interested in, then be sure to subscribe to this channel as I post new content each week.
Subscribe.
In today's video, we are talking about Idaho Falls. Idaho Falls is such a lovely town. It is located on the eastern half of the state, and I'm going to talk to you guys a bit about work, school, its physical location, what the winters are like. We'll also talk about some infrastructure updates they have coming onto the list that may make it the perfect option for you.
I'm intrigued.
And we'll also talk about land. I know some of you, as you're considering a move to Idaho, you're really wanting like an acre plus. We're gonna highlight a property just like that at the end of this video, so be sure to stick around. Let's talk about cost of living. The overall affordability of Idaho Falls is very enticing for some of you as you're considering a move and you want to get the most bang for your buck, especially when you're considering other locations, maybe like Boise or Coeur d'Alene or some of the major cities in Montana or even Wyoming. Currently in Idaho Falls, you could move there and get new construction starting in the $350,000 range. And just in general, everything's going to be a little bit more affordable in Idaho Falls compared to some other cities. But it's still really nice because it's still a really good town on the eastern side of the state. It's not as big as some of the other places, obviously, but it still has great amenities, so you don't feel maybe super rural or without anything to do. And also, one thing to note about that is that Idaho Falls provides subsidized power via a hydroelectric plant. Not only do you get cheaper energy, but you're kind of in control of that energy, which is kind of nice as you're looking forward into the future.
I like that.
Quality of life. You're going to have great quality of life in Idaho Falls, especially if you enjoy the outdoors and being in close proximity to some really beautiful and amazing places. In Idaho Falls, you're 100 miles away from Yellowstone National Park and Grand Teton National Park. You're 80 miles away from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. In addition to that, if you really enjoy skiing, you have 5 world-class ski resorts within 2 hours. And if you drive south 2.5 hours, you'll end up in Salt Lake City, which then gives you access to all their amenities as well and their skiing. If you're into fly fishing, you are surrounded by world-class fly fishing, Snake River being one of the closest, but there are so many great areas out there to fish. People come from all around the world to fish that little pocket of kind of Montana and Idaho and Wyoming. And also you have hundreds of miles of snowmobile track and trail for cross-country skiing, and all of that is within 30 minutes of Idaho Falls. So ultimately, whether you are into hunting, fishing, skiing, snowmobiling, or hiking, Idaho Falls could be a really good place for you to consider if those things are really important to you. Employment opportunities. So this is an interesting one because everybody does work that is just so different and diverse. It's such a hard thing to make a blanket statement about a city and its location in terms of employment opportunities. One thing specifically I can mention about Idaho Falls is the Idaho National Laboratory. In terms of employment, they have government contracts and they employ a lot of engineers. So if you're an engineer and you really like this area, that could be a good avenue for you to check out for employment. I would say they probably employ roughly 30% of the white collar workers in Idaho Falls. But I would say there is lots of opportunity for you depending on what you're wanting to do, and Idaho Falls could be a great location if they have that. So I would encourage you to do a little bit of digging to say, okay, what would I want to do? Or even some of you I talked to and you're fine kind of changing up your career field. That's another good option to do some research. But I would encourage you to deep dive a little bit, depending on what kind of work you're looking for, to do some hunting to see if you can find that there or see if you can find something new that you want to do. Education in Idaho Falls. In Idaho, you're going to have some private options and you're going to have some public options. In addition to that, there is a really good sports program. So if you have kids and sports is a big part of their life, Idaho could offer a great solution to that. Speaking specifically about higher education, you have the Community College, College of Eastern Idaho. And then the second one would be Idaho State University's Idaho's Fall campus. Now, the main campus of that college is in Pocatello, and if you need to go down there, they have buses that can commute you back and forth. In addition to that, there is a program in Idaho that you may be familiar with, which is called dual enrollment. I grew up in Washington. There we called it Running Start, but it's essentially the program where you can get 2 years of college knocked out. So essentially you can get your AA while still in high school. I know a lot of families have really enjoyed that for their kids to be able to get a jump start on college and then get out sooner and get working and get on with their lives. So just know in Idaho Falls you have options, and depending on what you're wanting to do, you'll probably be able to find something that works for you. I just wanted to pause for a second. If you're enjoying this, be sure to like and subscribe. But also, if you're thinking about moving here and you want to talk about what your next steps could be, or you're interested in buying, then be sure to reach out. Me and my team would love to help you. I have agents across the state, so no matter which city you choose in Idaho, we can assist you. Weather and the overall environment. So Idaho Falls is eastern Idaho, like we already talked about. It's high desert. The winters are cold. There is wind that whips through the area. And talking about temperatures, you are going to see temperatures in the teens in the wintertime and even below zero sometimes. So that could be a kicker for you, but just know that if you do choose Idaho Falls, you are getting that colder, longer winter. They don't get a ton of precipitation, though they do get snow. That doesn't mean that you're going to be in kind of a dark and gloomy winter. It does mean that you're going to have lots of sun and lots of opportunity to get out and experience things. But just know that winters are long, winters are cold, but you are getting a lot of sun in the process. Sports in Idaho Falls. If you're curious, what is there in terms of entertainment and sports in Idaho Falls? That's what we're going to talk about. So first off, Idaho has the Spud King. So if you're into hockey, this is going to be a great option for you to have a team to get behind and root for. If you're coming to Idaho and you've really never had a professional hockey team that you can kind of root for, this will be a fun change for you. It's very different. It's very fun to watch, especially when the gloves come off and guys just go at it.
I'm a hockey player. That's what hockey players do. We fight.
And you also have the Mountain America Center, which is going to be a large arena. I think it seats around 5,000 people for sporting events, or one of my kids' favorite, monster trucks. But ultimately, it offers a great place for events to happen within Idaho Falls. Now, let's talk about baseball, the Idaho Falls Chuckers, and they are a AAA team. Now, they're probably not going to be as entertaining to watch as the Savannah Bananas, and if you don't know who they are, go check them out. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Friends go abracadabra, let it rip!
But that's a complete side note. I digress. Let's jump back in. Real estate in Idaho Falls. So I mentioned that you could get brand new construction, say for $350,000. Now I kind of want to talk to another subset of you, people who are thinking, man, I want to move to Idaho or Montana or Wyoming. I want to get some land. So let's talk about that for a minute. If you're looking to get, say, an acre plus in Idaho Falls and the surrounding area, you're going to spend right around maybe $500,000. But it's going to be a bit more if you're looking for other things. Say, if you want water rights, a shop, maybe a pasture for animals, and a 3-car garage, then you can expect to pay more. But to get more specific, let's highlight one property in particular. So this property right here, 1036 North, 1200 East, Shelley, Idaho. This property is listed at $799,000. It's a 5-bedroom, 4-bath, 3,800 square foot home, and it's sitting on 1.83 acres. And this is a good example. If you move out of town a little bit, you're going to be able to get a little bit more land, get a house, get some acreage, get a shop. This house has a shop as well. Inside the shop, in addition, there is a natural gas heater, which the winters can get really cold. So if you're wanting to spend some time out there, this is a nice feature to get in a shop in Idaho Falls. And then in addition to that, you're going to see off to the right that it also has RV parking. Again, Idaho Falls is a hub to some beautiful places, specifically Yellowstone National Park and the Grand Tetons National Park. So just to wrap this area up and put a little bow on it, in terms of Idaho Falls, it has a great location to a bunch of great outdoor activities, great access to Montana and Wyoming, and the town of Idaho Falls is great. It has so much charm, it's very lovely, it's very walkable. Whether you're going to the bread shop or you're going to the coffee shop, it's a great place to meet people, hang out, and just offers a great place to kind of get out of your house and go enjoy some culture and people and food and entertainment. Now, I saved this one for last, but it's going to be infrastructure, specifically the Idaho Falls Airport. They have just started a $45 million airport expansion project. Now, let's talk about nonstops real quick, because I know for some of you this is a big deal. So let's look at their map of what they offer. So currently you're going to see nonstops from Alaska, Allegiant, American Airlines, Delta, and United. And currently on this map, you'll see that there are direct flights to Seattle, Portland, Oakland, San Diego, Santa Ana, Phoenix, Mesa, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Denver, and Minneapolis. Their goal is to expand the airport and make it easier for you to get out and be more comfortable in the process, get through security faster, and get more access to other major cities as they progress towards the East Coast. I'd be curious to know what you guys think about Idaho Falls, especially if you're somebody considering other states. Where does Idaho Falls and Idaho in general kind of fall on the list for you guys? Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content like this each week. And if you're thinking about a move and or you have a question about what it would be like to move to Idaho, here's my contact information, and I'll see you guys in the next video.